Hello, my name is Veronica Hall, and this is my final presentation for college algebra. And one of the first problems that I will be solving today is 2x squared minus x minus 5 equals 0. To solve this, I will be using the quadratic formula, which is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So to start out, we'll see that our problem is in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. When we look at that form, we can figure out which numbers we need to plug into our formula. So first we have a, which equals 2. Then we have b, which is going to equal, right here, negative 1. And then we have c, which is going to equal negative 5. So after we have figured out what numbers go where, we're going to plug them in. So we will have x equals negative b. Well, our b is already negative, so we're going to have a negative 1 plus or minus square root b squared, which is negative 1. So we have negative 1 squared minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is negative 5, over 2 times a, which is 2. So after you have plugged in your equation, your next step is going to be to solve and simplify. Right here we have a double negative, so we can just leave that as 1 plus or minus. Negative 1 squared is going to be 1. Negative 4 times 2 is going to be negative 8, times negative 5 is going to leave us with positive 40, so we can write this as plus 40 over 2 times 2, which is 4. We can simplify this a step further, which will give us x equals 1 plus or minus 1 plus 40 is 41 all over 4. 41 is not a perfect square, so we're going to leave that as is, which is going to give our answer as x equals 1 plus the square root of 41 over 4, or 1 minus the square root of 41 over 4. And that is how we solve this problem. For our next problem, we are going to solve I raised to the 127th power. Let me write that a little bigger because that seems a little small. And so we're going to simplify this. And in order to do that, we need to remember that I squared can equal negative 1. And when we're simplifying these problems, we're always going to end with a plus or minus 1 or a plus or minus I. You're never going to end with an exponent still in this problem. If you've ended with an exponent, it's not simplified as far as it needs to be. So in this problem, I-127, we need to figure out how many factors of I squared we have in I-127. And to do that, the simplest way we can start is to divide 127 divided by 2. And 2 goes into 12 6 times. Drop that 7, while 2 is going to go into 7 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6. So it's going to be raised to the 63rd power, but we still have 1 remaining. So with that 1 remaining, we're going to have I squared raised to the 63rd power times that extra I. Now, if we go back and remember, I squared equals negative 1. So we can change this to negative 1 raised to the 63rd power times I. Well, when we're raising a negative to an odd exponent, it's automatically, we know it's going to be a negative 1. So we'll have that negative 1 times I, which is going to equal us out to negative I, which is our simplest form. So I raised to the 127th power simplified is negative I. Thank you so much.